Oliver from envisionselfhealing.com, and we're dedicated in helping you improve your eyesight and quality of life by taking healing into your own hands. And in this video I'm going to be looking at the final part in the 3 series of The Art of Not Seeing. Now, the title of this has obviously come from the Aldous Huxley book The Art of Seeing, and that's certainly a book that I recommend all of you that would like to improve your eyesight to check out to get a good basic understanding of where vision improvement has come from. And he's got a good insight on the Bates method, and indeed comes up with some great exercises and also some very easy to understand information on improving our eyesight through positive visual habits as well as the exercises. But what I'm concentrating on today is how we're not using our eyes as we should be, and indeed how very simple steps we can do will help improve our vision in a very easy to understand way, in a very simple way that means that you don't have to really go out of your way and spend lots of time fighting to improve your eyesight. And indeed, if you already have good vision, then you can just follow these steps, and it means that you can prevent yourself from getting worse eyesight, which allegedly is something that we all have to face as we get older. But really we notice that a lot of people can sustain good vision throughout the good majority of their life. So today I'm going to be looking at how we are underusing one of our eyes and overusing the other. Now, those of you that have seen my blog, The Hunger Games Eye Exercise, you'll notice that I go into quite in depth on dominance and non-dominance. So this is something that is just so basic within our eyes, but very few of us know about it, and sure, why would we? But just like you've got a dominant arm, we also have a dominant eye. And from as we grow up as children, the brain decides that one particular eye should be used more than the other. It creates more stronger signals with that eye, and in fact it is quicker, and we become more efficient in using that eye. Now, this is fine if you're out hunting in the wild, because it's a great advantage, and just like having a dominant hand, it means that you become more efficient at using it. But the problem is now is we're not out hunting all the time, or certainly not all of us. So it means that we're using our eyes on a constant strenuous basis with reading and having to reach deadlines and playing games. All this is using this dominant eye a lot more than it was initially designed for. So it means that, again, just like with the peripheral vision, how we are overusing our central vision and underusing our periphery, this is exactly the same. We're now overusing our dominant eye and we're underusing our non-dominant eye. And those of you that have seen those other videos or are very observant will notice that I always suggest that the dominant eye is the right and the non-dominant is the left, and that is because I am a righty, both hand and eye, and not a lefty. And in fact around 2/3 of the population are right eye dominant. There's no difference whether you are right or left eye dominant, but it just means for all of us that we are favouring and overusing one eye. Now sure, this isn't necessarily noticeable as a child and as you're not overusing it as much, but through the ages that gap between equilibrium between the two increases, so it means that you really do start to overuse one eye. Now some of you have probably already experienced this without even realizing. If you use the computer a lot or indeed read a lot, you might notice that you get maybe mild headaches or eye strain. But next time you do, see if you can notice if the eye strain is in one particular eye. And I'm sure that you will find that 9 times out of 10 that is probably your dominant eye, because you're overusing it and you're overstraining it to try and focus on the work that you're doing. So we're creating this big imbalance between the two. Now of course the other danger with this is, just like any part of the body, if you don't use it then eventually you could lose it. So I'm not saying that you're going to lose your sight through doing this, but it certainly means that it's going to become a lot weaker and weaker. Now there's 2 issues with this. One is that as you overuse and strain the right eye, as we said before with the headaches and the strains, you can also start to develop pathologies and conditions with that right eye, because it's being overworked just so much. If you think about it, if you just lift weights all day with your dominant arm, it wouldn't take long until that muscle would start to become fatigued and would become weaker than indeed the non-dominant arm. So it also means that with the left eye, it just becomes underused, it becomes less dormant. It means that colour isn't as bright and clear through that eye. It means that we don't focus as well with that eye, and it just means that our vision isn't as clear as it could be. It can also affect eye teaming. Now the reason why eye teaming is important is obviously because we have two eyes and they're sending two separate bits of information to the brain, where it's then put together, and then that's where you see the world. Now if the eyes aren't working together and one eye starts to lag, and those of you that might have the condition strabismus or amblyopia will certainly experience this, where one eye is looking in a different direction, then it means that the images aren't joining out, they're not fusing, so it means it's not as clear as it should be. So if one eye isn't being worked as much as the other, then obviously it's not going to be as bad as double vision, but it means you're not getting that crisp, clear image that we should all and could be getting if we made sure that our eyes are teaming properly. So there we are then, some very important reasons why we need to make sure that we're using both eyes equally. And one thing that you can simply do to help improve this is obstructing the dominant eye. You can do that with obstruction glasses, where in the last episode or the last blog post that I talked about how we disagree with sunglasses, and in fact what we do with sunglasses is we pop out one of the lens and we cover one of them with some tape so that you can't see through it, and we put those glasses on, and it means that we're blocking our dominant eye. So in our everyday life we can do this just to start using our non-dominant eye, bring strength back to it, and more importantly it's also resting our dominant eye, something that we're just not doing on a regular basis. You can do exercises with this as well as incorporate it into your life. You can head over to our website at envisionselfhealing.com. Head over to the exercises section and you see there it's called obstruction eye exercises, and there's plenty of things that you can do with obstructing the eye in order to strengthen the non-dominant eye and indeed rest the dominant eye, which is going to help bring clarity back to your vision, so you can see vision improvement and also reduce and eliminate chances of having any problems in the future that could be caused through that imbalance between the two. Now if you enjoy the information in this blog and in this video, then you should certainly check out our website at envisionselfhealing.com, where there's a lot more blogs and information going on there where you can find out how to improve your eyesight naturally. You can also get your hands on a free ebook very quickly and easily through our website that's called A Modern Day Guide for Improving Eyesight, and we go through 10 simple steps of how you can indeed improve your eyesight through using the eye, how it should be used and how we're not using it as well as we should be in our modern day life. You can also get some tips and updates through my Twitter account, William Fuller EN. You can also look me up on Facebook, William Fuller Envision, and certainly check out and like our Facebook fan page, Envision Self Healing, and you'll see a lot of small community over there building where a lot of people are leaving some comments, and you can also find out a lot more on how Richard and myself are getting on with our eyesight and improving our own vision. You can also subscribe to this channel just by clicking on the button above if you're watching this on YouTube, and that means that you're going to get access to all our videos as we release them on a regular basis. And you can also check out our podcast, which we do weekly on iTunes, or indeed we release a video YouTube version, so you can keep up to date on that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave any comments on this blog or any other blog posts that we've got going on here, and happy healing.